All right, Judge, page 33 and 34. White, come on up.
I should be attached.
Did you already file it?
We did. I talked to him. It was attached
Peter?
this morning. Good morning, Judge.
How are you?
I am doing well, I think.
Good to see you, like always.
Good to see you too. I saw you yesterday.
2 days in a row. Fabulous. Who is this gentleman? Mr. White.
Page
So, new case.
33 and 34.
All right. Good morning, Mr. White.
Sir.
Sir, you stand charged with two offenses. You're charged with driving while intoxicated. Second offense, you're also charged with failure to stop and give information. On the DWI, you're facing up to a year in jail and or a $4,000 fine. On your other case, you're facing up to 6 months in jail. We're going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. You have the right to have an attorney present. If you cannot afford one will be appointed to you, sir.
Yes, Judge. On January 1st, 2025, officers were dispatched to a major crash at the intersection of Westheimer and Synott Street. Officer made contact with the complainant. The complainant stated she was driving and she was at the intersection when the light was green. She proceeded through the intersection, saw the defendant's vehicle run a red light at a high rate of speed, and the defendant's vehicle was struck by the complainant. The damage to the complainant's vehicle was approximately $9,000. The complainant stated she was never contacted by the defendant to exchange information. The officer made contact with the defendant and observed glossy eyes, slurred speech, a moderate odor of an alcoholic beverage, and unsteady balance. The officer also observed swaying and disorientation. The defendant stated he was driving his motor vehicle when the other motor vehicle struck his, that he was the sole occupant of his vehicle, and that he was driving the damaged motor vehicle that the officers observed on scene. The defendant admitted to consuming alcoholic beverages prior to operating his motor vehicle, that he was coming from a steakhouse and was on his way to his friend's home to sleep, that he had drank 3 bottles of beer at a gas station across the street from the scene, and that the defendant stated he did not consume illegal drugs that night. He also stated he was unsure of which street he was on and rated his intoxication as a 5 from a scale of 1 to 10. The defendant stated he parked his motor vehicle, was going to walk to an apartment complex where the officer stopped him to tell his friends to call the police, and that he could have called the police given that the officers observed the defendant's phone on him. Standard field sobriety tests were administered, HGN 6 out of 6, walk and turn 4 out of 8, 1 leg stand 3 out of 4. The defendant was read the DIC and refused. A blood search warrant was signed and executed.
Did you want to say something?
Judge, I'm not sure about the court, but I'd like to hear a little bit more about leaving the scene. It sounds like
I didn't hear
I
anything.
didn't hear anything on PC.
You didn't say anything about the FSGI.
So on the FSGI, the complainant stated she was never contacted to exchange information. And then also, furthermore, I can read from the complainant.
He stayed there, right?
No, Your Honor. So allow me to read from the full.
You got to leave.
So he was found at a gas complex, apartment complex where he was stopped, and that's where he made contact with the officers. And the full DIMS I can elucidate
Okay,
that.
so he wasn't
at the
scene of the accident.
No, Your Honor. He was later found at an apartment complex. That's where he was stopped, and he told the officers that he could have called police because they observed the phone on him.
Did you say how far?
Let me see the DMs if I can see.
And Judge, he's bonded on both cases. I mean, there's plenty of room for us to negotiate and work with the state on this. I mean, it may very well be.
I just want to make sure that, if he's charged with an offense, there's enough probable cause. And,
From DIMS is about 5 pages long.
Yeah, it doesn't look like it. They say the distance, just that they made contact with him at the apartment.
Where? At the apartment or?
There's an apartment complex where they stopped him. That was not the scene, and that's where they found him, and they saw him with his phone on him, and that's where they made contact and asked him if he could have called police. And he said he could have, and that he was walking to that apartment to get his friend to call the police.
And Judge, we have both locations of where the crash occurred and where he was found. If you could give me a moment, I can get the exact distance.
If that's the case,
I have a lot of problems here.
I have an identification question then, if that's the. Both cases.
He goes to the gas station. He's drinking at the gas station,
Yes, Judge, and because he did state he drank at the gas station across from the scene. And then
Do we know if he started drinking after the accident, before the accident? Did the officer ask?
well, he did state that he drank prior to the accident because he was at a steakhouse, is what he said.
Right. You have no distance on as far as where he was from you.
Locations, and we can find the distance. If you just give us a moment, we can see how far the two locations are.
Well, I am going to go forward with your, I'm going to find that there's enough probable cause to go forward on the driving while intoxicated. Have you run his license, see if he has a valid Texas driver license?
Yes, Judge, his license is eligible.
Okay, I'm now placing a restriction on your license, Mr. White. You are not allowed to drive any vehicle that doesn't have an ignition interlock on it. If you're caught driving a vehicle that doesn't have an interlock, I'm going to revoke your bond. I will put you in jail. I am ordering you also as a condition of your bond not to consume alcohol, illegal drugs, or unprescribed controlled medication. I'm going to randomly test you. If we find that you're consuming alcohol or any illegal drugs, likewise, you will go to jail. No more PR bonds. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Now, you have a lawyer. Because you have a lawyer, I will waive your appearance so you don't have to waste your time coming to court, but you must stay in touch with Mr. DeLeaf and he'll tell you when you have to come back to court. If Peter tells me that he can't get a hold of you because you're playing games, then I will again issue a warrant for your arrest.
Your Honor, so it's 0.3 miles, and furthermore, upon reading the OR, there were bystanders on the scene that told the officers that they identified him as walking towards the apartment complex and failing to give information from the crash. So we have 0.3 miles, and a bystander saw him walking from the scene of the crash towards the apartment complex.
I will now, I'm going to find probable cause for now.
Okay,
Peter,
for now.
if you find something that's different later on, come
Okay,
back, we
perfect.
can always talk.
Yes, sir.
You are also not allowed to drive unless you have liability insurance in your name on whatever car you're driving. We are sending notice now to DPS that you're required to have an interlock. So every officer in the state is going to know if you're caught driving a vehicle and it doesn't have an interlock, they're going to take you to jail. Do you understand? Okay, so I'll have you sign reset with Victoria. We'll have you get with Fleisher for your bond conditions, and after that, you're free to go.
Thank you.
Okay, guys.
Appreciate
Take
it.
care.
All right, the first one is page 34. Was released from.
Got it.
William, Gerard, come up. Also, Judge Fleisher is on Zoom.
Yeah, I see him. I got him.
Oh.
Mr. Williams, you're charged with terroristic threat of a family or household member. You're facing up to a year in jail and or a $4,000 fine. We're going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can or will be used against you. You have the right to have an attorney present. If you cannot afford one, one will be appointed to you, sir.
Yes, Judge. On December 29th, 2024, the officer is dispatched to a disturbance involving a weapon at an apartment in Harris County, Texas. The officer made contact with the complainant, who stated she and the defendant are in a dating relationship, that she left the club with a witness, and she received a call from the defendant asking where she was at. The defendant was upset because she was not at the apartment when he was there, and the defendant was texting her that she better not be at the apartment and that would be her best bet once he got to the apartment and she was not there. The defendant was texting her, or the complainant stated that when she returned to the apartment, she observed the defendant walking towards the motor vehicle she was in with a black metal object in her hand, banging on the window of the motor vehicle. And the defendant told the complainant to get out of the motor vehicle or he was going to drag her ass out. The complainant felt threatened and called the officer. The defendant sent text messages to the complainant reading, "It's cool because whenever I catch you, I promise you on my life, bitch, I'm going to show you. You think I'm bullshitting? Let that bum ass have you made for each other on my mama. So I'm telling you to stay where you at. But for real, whenever you come here, bitch, you better have backup because I'm going to drag you, bitch."
Mr. Williams, there is probable cause to go forward. I'm ordering you as a condition of your bond not to have any contact with this complaining witness and not to be in possession of weapons. Do you understand? There is a protective order that has been issued in this case. Get to know it, because if you violate the protective order, the state can file a violation of protective order against you, and it's one of the worst cases you can pick up. You understand? We're going to reset your case to give you time to hire a lawyer. So I'm going to have you go to Victoria, sign a reset. We'll have you take your seat in the jury box. So we'll get your bond conditions. We'll have you sign it. And then you'll be free to go.
I had came to court when I was, and they had appointed me a court appointed.
That was for probable cause court, but it doesn't.
To be able to have a, well, he had found me indigent to be able to have a court appointed lawyer.
I have a financial affidavit here that says that you make nearly 8,000 a month.
Well, I'm not at work. I'm not gonna be able to go to work until this case is over. So I've been out of work since October.
All right, so let's do this. I'll have you fill out a new one. Just put all the information on it. I'll file it, and then assuming you do, I'll give you a lawyer today. Okay? But I need you to fill out another one. I cannot give you a lawyer when I have an affidavit that says that you make that much. So I need to know the true number. No. Let's not talk about the case now.
No, it's not about a case. It's about me going to work. I have my.
Let's do this. Hold on. I don't want you to say anything where just, let me have you look. Let me have you do this. If you qualify, I'll give you a lawyer. Talk to the lawyer. The lawyer can come talk to me. Okay? All right, please.
All right, Judge, the second arraignment is the printout that's on the side there. Go ahead and sign it.
Neela?
Yes. Come on up.
Okay, Your Honor, Williams bond conditions, no contact, no weapons. Please, yes, Judge.
Good morning, Mr. Neela. Sir, you are charged with reckless driving. You're facing up to 30 days in jail and or a $500 fine. We're going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can or will be used against you. You have the right to have an attorney present. If you cannot afford one, one will be appointed to you.
One moment, Your Honor.
Take your time. No rush.
Okay. On January 5th, 2025, the officer observed the defendant's vehicle at the 8400 block of Katy Freeway, approach from the rear at 107 miles per hour in a 60-mile-per-hour zone, and passed the patrolled motor vehicle. The officer caught up to the defendant's vehicle and observed the vehicle to be traveling 118 miles per hour in the 60-mile-per-hour zone, along with cutting multiple vehicles off and almost striking one motor vehicle. A traffic stop was conducted and the officer made contact with the defendant, the driver, and sole occupant of the vehicle. The defendant stated he was just going with the flow of traffic.
Mr. Neal, I'm going to find that there's probable cause to go forward with the case. I'm now ordering you not to drive any vehicle whatsoever. Do you understand? You will be signing an affidavit with me today promising me you're not going to drive. And if you do, you can be facing an additional 6 months in jail and a $500 fine every time you drive. Do you understand? If you would like, I can have you fill out an application or an appointed lawyer, and I can see whether you qualify to have you talk with someone today. Would you like to do that? Okay. Do you mind giving an application? I'll give you an application. I need to know everything about you, how much money you make, how much money you spend, how much money you have in the bank. I'll take a look to see if you qualify. If you do, I'll provide you a lawyer today.
Good morning, Ms. B. How are you?
Ms. B,
Yes, sir. May I approach, Your Honor?
what's up with you?
Yes, sir, Your Honor. I am here on Mr. Alejandro Guardado.
Okay.
Just want to get the status of what are you expecting out of this case, Judge? Are you willing to keep him on probation, or are you recommending residential, or what is your take on it, Your Honor?
Have we done a TRAS?
Yes.
What is it? That's it. You know,
What was that?
they were a SATIF.
Yes, he's here.
How long does it take to get in? How much? No, I'm not gonna, that's, I can't, that's just too much. So can we do it and then have them report when a bed opens? Yeah, I don't want to hold someone 1 to 3 months without knowing if they're gonna get in. That's, you know, so do you mind checking to see and then let us know? So there's usually a wait to get in, but I think that that's unreasonable to have to wait 1 to 3 months. That's crazy,
Yeah, especially.
you know? Right. So let's see if we can do it to where we wait for one to open up and then he can do it then. Yeah? Okay. Sure. Petite. Hey,
Two things. On the breath device on Mr. White, his vehicle's in the shop until February 12th. Can he
Give him a
do
portable.
portable until then?
Just advise him that he's going to sign a no driving affidavit. Do not drive under any circumstance, anyone's car.
Um,
So we'll give him the portable device. Once he obtains the car, then we can switch it.
So he's in a rental car right now.
He needs an interlock on it then.
Can you put it on a rental car?
I don't know. I don't know.
Can we put him on a blow schedule on a portable until then? If he's blowing 3 times a day, he's not drinking. Until he gets out of the, until it's February 12th, I told him he's got his truck back.
Guess I'll put him on a scram.
Let me talk to him about it and I'll reapproach. Can I, real quick,
And your other guy, Chuck on, it's,
73 days old.
where is he
We
with it?
finally got all his appearances waived.
Yeah, but
Where are we?
Where is he?
We have finally done a full review of all the evidence. I talked to the prosecutor this morning about it. We are 1 letter short of the mitigation packet. I checked with my paralegal. We also, the state needs to review the case. That's what I talked to them about this morning. There's 4 or 5 things that I see as problematic. So they're reviewing, I'm finishing the packet. It should be done hopefully by the end of the week and I'll get it to them. So if we could do one more reset, that'd be great.
It's not gonna be long, but I'll give you some time. Sure. And he's got to be here at the next setting and then we'll figure it out. So tell me, has anything changed with the PTI programs? Any news?
For DWI?
Yeah,
So what we are saying, PTI packets to Bernadette Abbey, but in like a bigger scale. She's having a lot to look at, but the criteria, I think she's being a little more strict.
You have to actually submit the application now with the packet. So we submitted a packet 2 days ago. It was rejected because the actual
Have everything.
application had to come with it.
but any hardline rules, like anything above a 16 is denied or anything above a
She's just
2?
in general, like she just denied one yesterday that was below 0.15, and that technically could have,
Really?
when she was telling us that. in the
True
case
first.
meeting. I just know it's below 0.15. That's all she told us about it, but, she's just being a little more strict on them.
That doesn't bode well for my 0.2.
Oh, I don't know specifics, Ron. We're still
What
on
about,
it.
is there still the line where if it's a 15, you need a mitigation packet?
I believe so.
Okay. All right, so we'll give you a couple weeks and then, he's got to be here, packet got to be done.
Talk to him real quick about scram versus no driving affidavit versus,
Yeah, you let me know what you want to do.
I'll be right back. Thank you, Chair.
Hi,
Judge, good morning. Commissioner Approach?
yes, ma'am.
Judge, I am back on Ms. Smith, Shanika Smith.
Okay.
I wanted to provide an update with the court. I know we spoke earlier this week. We called in Toxalock, which was the additional provider, and Will and I.
Tell me
both
they said
called,
no.
And they still said no.
What?
Her make and model for her vehicle, we called the service department because they kind of transferred around to the person who was in charge of it. They were placed on hold. They came back on and said, unfortunately, her vehicle would not.
What
allow
is it? Is it
She has a Lexus 300.
the bubble looking car?
So I asked her for the make and model she provided, and that's what I gave them. And Easy Locks was the first person she attempted. We then called Intoxilock, and they also could not install on her vehicle. And I don't know what it is about the vehicle, but they said no. So once we got that answer, we spoke with Ms. Gomez because we know with the portable device, there's going to be some issues. She's asked me if we just have 2 weeks so that they can figure out with the new administration and the new changes that are coming with the program, if there's something we can work around of some sort, or something they can suggest. So she said in 2 weeks, we'll have it all figured out.
Yeah,
and then
okay.
we'll
Not a problem.
judge.
For sure. Yes.
Thank you.
He's totally fine with the scram. He understands and he says
Okay.
he has to work, so scram's fine.
So any alcohol, I'm taking his privilege to drive away. Let him know.
I told him that
I don't care what it is. Let him know. Would you mind having him come up? Mr. White, come up. Sorry? No, I never make anyone pay for it. I want you to understand that as soon as you get your car back, you must have the interlock on your own car. Do you know, I guess so, we need to figure out and have a date when you're going to get your car back, because I can't imagine you're going to be in a rental car forever because they're stupid expensive. Is that the day? Okay, so let's do what we're going to do. So I'm putting a monitor on your ankle so I know that you're not consuming alcohol. This thing is extremely finicky. So be very careful what you put in your body. And I don't care what your excuse is. If I find that you're consuming, you have any alcohol on board, I'm taking your privilege to drive away from you. Do you understand? That includes mouthwash, tequila, lollipops, hair dye. I've heard so many excuses. I don't care. Just you are old enough to know what to put in your body. If you don't, for example, like an energy drink, if you don't know, then don't use. That's the bottom line. Do you understand? Okay. All right. So we'll put it on. I'm going to waive the fee for you. I guess February 13th or one of those days after. Let's do the reset for that day so you can come back in and we can switch it.
I think that's the day we did the reset.
Oh, perfect. Okay. Whatever day. Yeah.
Judge,
Okay.
so for the IID, for time after that, whenever he does get the IID, do you want to have the scram removed then as well?
Yeah. Proof of the interlock installation first, and then we remove the screen.
Yes, Judge.
Yeah.
And then also for that, did you want the no driving or? we're still-
No, because he's driving a rental. That's why we're putting on the scram. I don't think you can put it on the rental. Okay,
Thank you, Judge.
please.
Did you change the reset date to February,
What day did you put?
March 13th?
Yeah, we need to do it for February,
February
like
13th?
whatever day that they're gonna choose. Doesn't matter to me.
Thank you, Judge.
Hunter. Hey, bud.
I have a Breenick on docket, except for bond forfeiture. I'm just asking the court if I could get one more week. I did just.
Is he here?
No, he's not.
No, it's set for bond forfeiture today. I mean, it's supposed to be here. Yeah, okay. So I'm gonna set it at 5,002 on each and then just let us know. Do you want to stay on or do you want to withdraw?
I'll stay on for now. 'Cause I just got refound his number. That's why I was asking for another week. I'm hoping that so
I mean-
if he responds, I'll get him here.
Okay.
Thank you, Judge.
That's all, I'll appreciate that.
Yeah,
5,002.
yes. Tell me, what's up?
This case, Judge, he was on PTI for assault family member, and then he got charged with violating a bond condition, and they kicked him out of PTI. But he only needs like 3 more MIP classes, so I'm having him finish it either way. So he'll finish that in a few weeks, and then we're trying to work everything
What
out.
is their position now?
The state he wants to speak to his chief on it.
Yeah, it's just, Judge, from what I'm seeing in the notes, there's VPI, there was a VPO that was dismissed prior, and that caused some problems with it. So I just
He has another prior VPO that was dismissed as well?
it was dismissed. So there's just, I want to see what the history is with the prior prosecutors and stuff to see if that's something that they want to.
Okay, it's an old
Consider-
case, so I'll give you a week.
If we could have like 3 weeks, because he has 3 MIP classes left, and he'll be done in 3 weeks. That way we can get the certificate, and if that gives any leverage to try to work the cases out, great. If not, we're probably just gonna set the older case of trial. The complainant's not on board either way. But I'd like to be able to try to work something out with everything. But I think that's gonna help if he can at least finish the program, which he has actively been doing. He just finished class number 15. But unfortunately, they don't let them do the classes but once a week.
Right, but is that a futile attempt anyways, though? I mean, because if you're just gonna set up a trial anyways, let's just set up a trial.
Well, I'm hoping if he finishes it, they'll take that into consideration, and maybe we can work some new case, dismiss the old case, since he did everything that he initially agreed to complete. So
All right, Eric, I'll give you 3 weeks. All right, he's got to be absolutely done. Is he here now?
yeah, Judge.
Okay, yeah, no more waived appearances. He's got to be here.
I know he's been here ever since. So
Okay, so what's the expected completion date?
it's only 3 weeks, so I'm not sure the exact date, but I can find out before I talk to.
Please, we want to know, and then, but that's it. I mean, we're at 1,000 days on this case, so if he's not done it within the 3 weeks, and I don't care, that's it. Okay? All right,
Judge, that was 3 weeks to the one judge?
finish BIP. Victor.
Good morning, Judge. How are you?
Hey, bud, what's up?
Judge, I've got 3 cases on your docket. All 3 of them were rolled from Monday to figure out the, I guess, the new protocols for applying to the DWI PTI program.
Okay.
So I just still need to know, I guess, what we need to do now. What's the new steps so I can submit these mitigation packets?
You submit them to Bernadette.
Got it. Okay.
Have any of them done a TRAS yet?
No, I have not set them up for a TRS because they have to be approved by Nathan, or they used to have to be approved by Nathan before we would do that.
Okay. So who's first?
I've got Lacan Chuk. Carlos is the first name. The only other question I've got, Judge, regarding the mitigation packets is with Nathan for the Spanish written letters, we never had to translate them ourselves.
All these are super old, huh?
Well, I was, like I said, when I spoke to you on Monday in Chambers, I had everything already ready to go from last week, but they told me Nathan was out.
So are you ready to submit all of them today?
Yes, I'm ready to submit them all. The only thing I need to know is whether I need to translate the Spanish written letters, because then that's going to add some time, because I'll need to translate them. Because with Nathan, it was just submitting everything, and he read Spanish, understood Spanish, so he'd be able to do that.
Alex, do you know?
So I do not know if we need to translate them themselves, because Nathan, they did not.
Okay, so just submit them, Victor, and we'll see what they say.
I'll do that, Judge.
Okay, and then I'm going to give you a week on all of them to see if we can get a response from them.
That's fine. Can we do it on the 15th then?
Sure. Okay, you ready? Yeah.
Judge, on Tristan Smith, have a report for you.
Okay, tell me.
The last question was about his being in custody. You mentioned that you were willing to let him out, and I assume no personal bonds, if we could show that he would be staying with an adult. I talked to a Miss Palmer, who is the woman that he was referring to. Miss Palmer is okay with him living with her, but she has some issues with the bond conditions. She does not want an individual living in her house with an ankle monitor. And she said she wanted to express that she is not his mother. Although he could stay there, she wanted to make sure that, I think she didn't want to take on any responsibilities that, you know. So I told her I understood that this was merely about living arrangements, and we understand it's temporary and all of that. But she said she was fine, but she just cannot do the ankle monitor. So I wanted to bring that to your attention.
I don't understand what that means.
She doesn't want an individual in her house with an ankle monitor. I guess it's something she's never come in contact with and feels strange. I don't know. She does understand that he's accused of a crime and that he's going through a criminal process, but this was her sticking point. Not what I anticipated, but that was a sticking point for her. So I wanted to bring that to your attention. And I guess my ask would be, would you be willing to amend that condition?
How were we able to monitor him then?
How would we monitor him?
Yeah. How do we know he's not going out in the middle of the night?
Well, we wouldn't. What we could do is, of course, what you said you would do, which is random UAs every time he comes. We could do frequent appearances for him. I mean, there's other, I mean, we don't know where he is 24 hours a day.
It's a hard time making it here, you know?
He does, he does.
We're gonna.
But I did discover that there may be some resources available to him that I'm working on in terms of transportation. So I think we can remedy that, and that's through MAC. I think we can remedy that. But that was the first thing, because I mean, he's been in jail the whole time. He hasn't been able to get out, cannot make bond, doesn't have a cosigner. She's not willing to be a cosigner for him. So it's either going to be he sits there, set it for trial, or the state makes an offer that you're willing to accept. That's kind of where we are at this stage. So that was the first thought, is whether you'd be willing to amend that condition. That'll get him out. He'll stay with Ms. Palmer while we work out these cases.
Good. I'm going to discuss with Kelsey in a moment and potential offer. We're going to talk about maybe a potential deferred. We'll discuss it with Kelsey and see if you're amenable to that, Your Honor.
Did you offer him a PTI?
No, PTI not offered, Your Honor. We offered previously a time served, but as you mentioned, you would not accept that. So,
That's,
so we're gonna discuss with Kelsey to see if some sort of probation.
And obviously, if the state were willing to offer a PTI, that's something I believe he would accept. But we talked about the potential for deferred, and I told him the legal implications of that.
my only issue is that if I let him out, as history has told us, when I try to get him here, it's very difficult. You know, there's this excuse, there's that excuse. The only time I'm able to get him here is because he picked up a new case. Otherwise, you know,
It had been tough to get him here,
historically, I
Judge.
try to get him to go test, he just doesn't go. So
Well,
it's,
the last time when he was ordered to appear, he came, he walked 9 hours. I mean, he wants to deal with it, but he's like, in his words, the court took away my parents, so I don't have an adult to stay with. And I was like, well, your parents asked for you not to go there. But the way he views it is,
have you talked to them lately?
him?
Oh, the parents.
No. I've never, I spoke to his mom. She, a lady who said she was his
Yeah, but
mother
that's New Orleans.
several weeks ago, but she doesn't live with, no. I've never talked to the grandmother. She hasn't taken my calls. And then the other CW was
Have you tried to call grandma?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Because I was curious about the information that we received, but she won't take my calls or return them. So he's in this situation where he has no way to get out. He's missed school.
Can you mind bringing up Mr. Smith, please? Tristan Smith.
I don't necessarily want him to come to court every week because that would, again, be absences and things like that from school. But if that's something that the court will require, we could work with Mac about transportation and getting him here. So I think he would be willing to do that.
Just, it scares me to put him on too long of a leash, you know, because when we do that, here we are again, you know.
And Judge, we always have the random UAs to ensure that he's not ingesting any illegal substances. I mean, we have things to do to keep tabs on him. It's just a matter of how do we move forward with him not being in jail.
How's jail? The question is, how do we go from here? Where do we go from here? You know, all I want is the best for you, you know? And it seems like when we give you too much of a leash, no good happens. Nothing good happens. I want to let you out, and he has found you a place to go to, but I guess the requirement is she's saying is that she doesn't want you to have an ankle monitor. But if I don't put the ankle monitor, am I supposed to take your word that you're not going out in the middle of the night? Really? How am I supposed to monitor to make sure you're not?
I don't go nowhere. I just go to school, come home, that's it. I don't go nowhere. I don't do nothing. I'm just trying to go to school, that's it. I done already missed finals, been emailing her.
In this latest assault, where were they at?
So the latest assault, Your Honor, they were at, it appears to be at a residence. And then that's whenever they got into a group fight with the defendant and another female attacking the complainant.
Okay. I'm going to give you another chance, but I'm going to tell you now, 3 strikes, you're out. If I find that you're using marijuana, because I'm going to test you like crazy. As of today, I'm going to test you again in 3 weeks. If you test positive, it's not going to go well. Do you understand? You pick up a new case and I don't know how else to get through to you, but if this is the only way, then this is the only way. I mean, somehow we have to get your attention. You need to make better decisions. If you come up across where there's going to be a fight, walk the other way. If you are hanging out with people who you know are up to no good, that they're going to go smoke weed, go the other way. If they're asking, hey, come on, let's go to the club, don't go. I don't want you out in the middle of the night. So you still have a curfew. Do you understand? What is reasonable, Mr. Brooks, do you think?
I have practice and stuff, so it would have to be like after like 9 to.
I would say 9 o'clock, Judge.
Okay with that?
17 years old, school activity should be finished by 8, I would think.
Okay, you must be at that house. What I'm going to do is I'm going to have, because since she doesn't want the monitor, okay? But what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna have pretrial call you at 9:30 at night to ensure that you're at home. You're not gonna know when they're gonna call, but I'm ordering them to do that. So they're going to call. And if we call and they ask for you and you don't come to the phone, it's not gonna go well for you. Do you understand? Okay, so the bond condition is to stay in school full-time, and I want proof. I'm not gonna take your word for it. I want proof that you're actually enrolled in school. No drugs, no alcohol, no contact with the complaining witness in this case. Do you know who the person he was with by chance?
Second, Judge.
The person he was with?
In the second case, the young lady, she was not mentioned, or I don't know who she was.
No bars?
She was my ex.
She doesn't live with off this home.
No, she stay all the way in Channel View. I don't even be in Channel View.
No bars, no clubs, anything of this nature. Life is hard enough as it is. You see how hard it is when you don't have money. Life doesn't get easier the older you get. It only gets more difficult, especially being who you are in today's society. The only way that you're going to get anywhere is with this. Knowledge is power. And with power and with knowledge, you get money. And once you get that education, no one can take it from you, right? Only good things can happen. If you want resources, we have it here. I can give you paperwork so we can get you a cell phone and we can get you a tablet.
I have a phone and all that. Like I have a phone, I have an iPad. It was just hard for me to find housing at first because I didn't have nobody. So
you have someone now. So if they set rules for you, no matter how bad they are, you have to follow it, because if you don't and they kick you out, you're on the street again. So if she tells you to wax the floor, wax the damn floor. Because if you're not nice to these people, if you're not good to them, and if you don't have patience, you're going to end up on the street. Do you understand? Patience is everything. Self-control. All right.
Thank you, Judge.
Judge, for the drug testing, did you want me to just do it at the court's discretion so that for the dates?
I want to do random testing.
Okay, because last time we discussed it, we put them on weekly random.
No, I don't want to do that. We'll test in 3 weeks. 3 weeks we test them. And I also want you guys to call the house.
Yes, that's what we do for the curfew without GPS.
Right.
And you want that still 9 p.m. to 6 a.m.?
Yeah.
Okay, so still keep the randoms.
And no way.
Yes.
All right, stay in school.
All right, everyone. If this hearing had you glued to the screen, drop a like and share it out. And if you want more straight-to-the-point legal breakdowns just like this, hit subscribe and keep that notification bell on.